Hello and welcome to Around the Best Town. I'm your host, Woodbridge Mayor John McCormick. Today we've taken our show on the road and we're at the Barron Arts Center for a wonderful exhibit of Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. different displays here. With me is Mukesh Kashiwala, who is the architect of this display here. He is a very prominent member of the Asian Indian community of Woodbridge Township. I've seen him around every place. Everywhere, anytime there's something going on, particularly in Island or with Alberts, any place in the Asian Indian community, Mukesh is there. He usually has a camera with him and he's always taking pictures. So Mukesh, welcome.
Thank you.
Let's start by telling me about yourself.
I've been in Island more than 32 years. Both the kids, they're born and raised here from kindergarten to 12th at JFK. The success story of one of the Asian Indian in this town. The way I saw the development of the town on Oak Tree Road, I see all, like from where even till today, the best example, all our friends and around us since 35 years, the best example of my kids, they are serving the country. One is in Department of Justice, and one my son is Department of Defense.
Wow.
That is the best example of what Woodbridge has given to us.
So you basically saw the revival of Oak Tree Road from what it was back in, I'd say, the 80s, 70s, 80s, maybe not so good. And now you've seen it become a thriving Asian Indian business district.
So my kids also be a part of the Woodbridge, and they take pride when they put themselves as an identify themselves. No, they are also proud of Woodbridge Township.
And when they say they're from Island,
definitely.
In the community of Asian Indians across the country and across the world, people know where that is.
The recent example, I've been to India recently on one of the projects. All over the world, whether it is America, New Zealand, Australia, Europe, Africa, only the people back in India, people know about the Oak Tree Road. So Oak Tree Road is a landmark of Asian Indian community. So they ask about, have you seen the Oak Tree Road? I say I live around it.
Yeah, right,
so this is the credit goes to entire Woodbridge Township, particularly you, because I've been seeing you in the politics so many years, and I take a pride when people ask, when I go out of the country, they ask about the Oak Tree Road.
Good.
So that is the biggest example of how the Oak Tree Road has been come up from 80s till today.
So tell me about your professional career. Give us an idea of what you do.
I was actually a science student. I've been to fine arts. I study fine arts. I've been to Bombay to learn photography. I have 5 international awards. I'm proud to say that when Bill Clinton went to, as a president, he went to India tour. I've been with him for the photography, 7 countries with him.
Really?
Yeah, and I came to this country. I studied the Fashion Institute 2 years in photography. I used to work with J.C. Penney as a photographer. And since I moved here, I'm involved with the community. And I'm so proud about the community around, particularly you, Mr. Mayor. You become an instrumental to develop not only Asian Indian community, but you give a lot of support to a lot of other ethnic community. This is a culturally, multicultural Woodbridge. I'm a part of it.
We are diverse, that's for sure.
Yes, definitely.
And when I say you always have a camera with you, I am not exaggerating. I'm surprised you didn't wear it here today. So tell me about your idea to have this display here. Obviously, Mahatma Gandhi is his life you probably studied for many, many years. And of course, Black History Month, we just finished. And the display here was here during that of Martin Luther King Jr. What made you want to do this display of those 2 pioneers?
Let me go back a little bit, background how I started this. In 2006, if you remember, the Woodbridge Township, the Middlesex County hosted the largest event of Asian Indian community in Expo Center
Right, in Barron Center,
Addison.
yes.
2006, and more than 10,000 people. It was about like 3-4 days event. That was a very historic event. That time, I published a book on Sardar Patel. Let me give you a little brief about the Sardar Patel. You must have seen one of the largest statue of Sardar. It was a history made by Albert Gisani in Albert Palace.
The giant statue.
It was a first largest statue ever. Somebody did it as an Indian to our township. And that time, Albert helped me to put one book called Coffee Table Book. And I got all the access to Indian archive. And I came across with Mahatma Gandhi also. Let me give you a little brief about the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. You must have heard a lot of people, they have seen the statue.
Yep.
Like America, we call as a United States of America. It's a 50 state, put it together, and now we call United States of America. When India got the freedom in 1947, it was a different kingdom, like more than 500 kings were ruled the India, and it was all divided. When Britishers left India, they gave official to all the king that, okay, now this is your country, you can rule. But only the one person called Sardar, it was Iron Man of India, the person who united India, now we call it India now. Mm-hmm. So the instrumental, the person who put all the states together, his name was Sardar Patel, and Albert is always proud of, because he belongs to that region. Albert belongs to that particular region where Sardar born. So Albert had an opportunity.
What region?
Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel.
Now, what region was that?
Gujarat.
That's what I thought. Okay, I was going to ask you that.
So
most Indians in Woodbridge are Gujarati.
All successful Gujarati are from those areas.
Okay.
So I came across in 2006, the book I have written, I published on Sardar Patel. And I got an opportunity to research about all Sardar Patel, but Sardar Patel was equally instrumental to get freedom with Mahatma Gandhi. So I come across with a lot of pictures. So since then, I was thinking about what can be done. In 2017, I did one exhibition during the Black History Month in New York City with the help of Foundation of Martin Luther King Jr. in New York Metropolitan, and with the Consul General of India, and with the Bharati Vidya Bhavan. I had an opportunity to create one of the exhibition in New York City when David Lincoln came to my exhibition, and he loved that exhibition.
So what made I can see your connection to Mahatma Gandhi, but what made you decide to do something about Martin Luther King Jr.?
The reason, because I was writing a book on Gandhi after Sardar, and I went to the person who wrote my preface. It was a grandson of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. So I went to him. He is professor at Urbana University in Illinois. So I wrote to him. They say, why don't you go to Martin Luther King Jr. to write the preface about it? So I went to Atlanta. I got an opportunity to meet Martin Luther King Jr. and his son. I've been to, and they say, I'm very happy to write the preface. So he is looking at my new book coming up in this year with the help of Albert and a lot of other people. So he is ready to write a preface on it. So I thought that let me put this thing together. The situation is going on nowadays. In current situation, this is most relevant exhibition. I put the Black History Month on a side, but the most relevant, what is going on today with Ukraine, North Korea, China, this is the right time. I thought this is the right time to put my work and put it to the community. And I'm so grateful to Mr. Mayor Albert Gisani, our community, like Indian American community of North America, they helped me with the help of Barron Arts Center. It is my pride and privilege to have this exhibition, my work, to put it among the people.
Well, you said me. I didn't have anything to do with this other than if somebody says Mukesh wants to do something, I said, of course.
But because of township, I got the permission to have this exhibition in the Barron Arts Center in your facility.
So we're thrilled to have this exhibition here at the Barron Arts Center. Where else have you brought this? I know you mentioned New York. Where else have you been with it?
In different part of the America, we did it in Illinois, we did it in Atlanta. But I haven't done anything besides in New York City. It was an exhibition of Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. This is the second time I'm doing it together. Mahatma Gandhi's exhibition, I did it in 3 states in America.
Now, you mentioned before Albert Gisani. We all know Albert. He's close to all of us. He does so much for our town. Would you agree with me that he is the most prominent and the most obvious and the most public, and certainly the biggest benefactor in Woodbridge Township? Albert donates to PTAs and first aid squads and police department and fire department and scout groups and senior groups, and he's got that wonderful hall that he makes available, all the different rooms. You just need a place to have a tricky tray auction, or you want to have a banquet. You just call Albert, and he usually donates it or gives it at a very steep discount. What's it like having him as the focus of the focal point of Asian Indians in Woodbridge Township?
I always mention in my speech, I've been with Albert more than 25 years. I have seen him. Your perspective, Albert, is very different, but Indian as an Indian community, I look at different way because I have seen all the scenario, whether it is an event of cultural, social, or political, or anything is happening in our community, Indian community. I always mention that Albert Palace is a gateway of India, because anything happens. Like when we came to this country, we entered in New York City. But whoever comes from India, he has to come, or he comes to Albert Palace. So I always mention that Albert Palace is a gateway of India.
So if anybody wants to come to this country, they got to go to Albert's Palace first. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely right. And the second thing, what I mentioned, and I talk in my speech as a community leader, I always tell the people that there is not a single stage. If there is no Albert Palace, what will happen? Our community is going to be dispersed, and Albert Palace is an instrumental to put entire community intact, Indian community.
But it's also every community, because a couple of weeks ago, you know what's happening in Ukraine is terrible. Albert called me up and said, I'll give you 100 rooms for refugees if you get any refugees. Just like that, in his hotel, he would give up the money he would make from those rooms for who knows how long, and let Ukrainian refugees come in here and stay for free. That's got nothing to do with Asian Indian culture, but it's humanitarian.
So Albert, that's what I'm saying. So Albert, without any event is happening without him, we cannot even imagine that what will happen if there is some event or fundraising or anything. If there is no Albert, where we are going to stand?
Right.
So it's a great pride to have Albert Gisani in our community, and with Albert and Shobna and Dinesh Patel.
I was just going to say, you can't mention Albert Gisani without saying Dr. Shobna Patel.
Absolutely right. So we are so thankful, particularly our Indian community is so thankful that they have opened up not only the facility, but they open up their heart on any events.
So now you mentioned before about Ukraine again, and China and other places. What do you think Mahatma Gandhi would be doing today? What would he be saying today if he was alive, with frankly as messed up as the world is?
Let me put it this way. When I put this exhibition, I requested Barron Arts Center, Cynthia, that if you can open up this exhibition, because of pandemic, COVID, we hardly bring the kids, because all the propaganda and TV and media is misleading the new generation. So my exhibition was such an exhibition. They get at least one sentence of Mahatma Gandhi, one inspiration from Mahatma Gandhi, or the philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi, they change their life. So that's what I try to put it in here. The reason, let me put it in a brief about my exhibition, that how it's going to benefit to the world. I've been to all over the world recently. I've been to the latest exhibition, the biggest exhibition of Mahatma Gandhi in India. I've been to Delhi. I have seen all the exhibition of all over the world, lot of write-up. And new generation doesn't have a time to even read it. And the mind, when they read something, it hardly catch that mind of the written thing. But when you have some graphics of anybody, it reminds that graphics, and it creates a wow factor to do the more research about it. So my exhibition and my idea to put to the young generation is a more graphic rather than the write-up. So I try to minimize the write-up and more the graphics and creating a wow factor to the new generation, because new generation is so busy and they have so much subject to go on a YouTube or social media, they hardly remembers things. But my point of this exhibition is to create a wow factor. So once you walk into the room at the Barron Arts Center, I created a wow factor to putting all the graphics and the pictures of Mahatma Gandhi.
And the same thing applies, of course, to Dr. King.
Absolutely right. I researched Martin Luther King. I got a lot of help from the foundation. I share a lot of picture. People have not seen it or you don't see in the social media or anywhere else. So I try to put a little bit more Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi, which they don't see usually on social media. And when they see it, it creates interest on Mahatma Gandhi. And what I try to put it in here, the main subject was social change, but I try to implement a little bit more beyond social change, the peace and justice and unity of this exhibition. So the exhibition motto and aim is to spread among the harmony and the unity.
Well, thank you very much for your time. And you mentioned the exhibition. What I'd like you to do now is walk around the Barron Arts Center here, maybe start on the one side with Mahatma Gandhi, then go to the next side with Martin Luther King Jr., and explain to everybody what you've written in the text and why you've chosen some of the picture you chose or the drawings or whatever. Explain to everybody exactly what you've been talking about and try to give them that little tidbit you're talking about why they should want to learn more.
And during this exhibition, I come across to a lot of people. They saw the exhibition, they visited here, and a couple of things they have not written or read about it, and not mentioned about it in anywhere, that Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy, Martin Luther King attracted, and he visited 4 months to India to study the Gandhian philosophy with his wife. So people, they don't know.
Well, this will be a YouTube video, which is where the kids go to learn things. So
Yes.
you have an opportunity now to turn this video. It'll be on social media. It'll be every place the kids can get it. So we'll get it out there, and you deliver the message and tell them
Great.
why they should care about Mahatma Gandhi and
Definitely.
why they should care about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Great. I'm again very thankful to the Woodbridge Township and Barron Arts Center, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for doing this and put it on social media, by which a lot of people get benefit out of it.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. We'll take you on a tour now of the exhibit at Barron Arts Center featuring Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. as designed, constructed, and built by Mukesh Kashiwala, who is, as I said before, one of our great citizens of Woodbridge Township. He does so much for our community. Thank you very much.
Here at Barron Arts Center, it's my pride and privilege to among you and putting this exhibition during the Black History Month. The main emphasis of the exhibition is about social changes and the current situation, what is going on. I try to put it, the subject, different subject, like everybody's mind, what is going on. Today we need a peace, harmony, and unity. So I try my best effort to put this exhibition to change anybody's, like particularly the young generation's mind if they come here and look at it. I try to put 3 subjects on Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi. The main incident and event they put on the world map, and they become a iconic figure of the 21st century. The 3 incidents here in Mahatma Gandhi, the one incident is everybody knows about it, Salt March, by which on Second World Round Table Conference in England, Mahatma Gandhi forced them by doing the Salt March, forced them to give the freedom to India. And the main object of this exhibition, the second thing is 20 iconic figure, whether it is a politician, a religious leader, musicians, or anybody like inspired. So I try to put like 20 main figure of the world, they inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. So I try to put those pictures by which people get inspiration, that how many people inspired from the Gandhian philosophy or from Gandhiji. And the third thing, I try to put it in this exhibition, the heart, the best word spoken is into inverted commas, like Gandhi has said, love, peace, harmony, and so many subjects it touches. Like somebody want to study about Gandhi, they can study about love, peace, harmony, or whatever the subject Gandhi has given, it becomes an entire encyclopedia of that subject. So I try to put a quote unquote cover three things in here, like world peace, world unity, and harmony and social justice. One of the prominent display in this exhibition, the plates today, where Gandhi gets the inspiration from whom. And the second thing I try to put on this frame, that somebody want to study about, let's say, woman empowerment, Bible, love, peace, unity, honesty, fasting, you name it. And Gandhiji has given so much about that particular subject. One small thing, if somebody want to know about the Bible, you don't have to read in Bible and go through it, entire Bible. But according to me, my research and my study, if you just watch or study what he has said about the Bible, you get the essence of Bible. So the frame, the picture here, it shows that how many subject he has written. He put a very thoughtful message to the universe. Same thing with Martin Luther King Jr. also. I try to put a three incident by which Martin Luther King Jr. well known for, and it create an example to the new generation how to fight without any violence. So one thing, this great speech, like my dream speech at Washington DC, I try to put a great wordings, his speech and the picture. Same thing with the great, when he was receiving a Nobel Prize at Oslo, he gave the speech. It was a very historic speech. I tried to put that speech and some of the paragraph by which people get inspired about that speech. And the third, I try to emphasize Martin Luther King Jr., a Montgomery speech. So, and also at the same time, with Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr., I try to create a wow factor because nowadays the new generation doesn't have a time to look at it. And I studied from all over the world because I've been to a lot of exhibition, and I have studied and learned that you have to keep a less wording and more graphic thing, because always the graphic thing always recording the mind of the people, mind of the viewers. It records in the mind, and I try to create a wow factor of their viewers or visitors' mind of this exhibition. So they records that particular vision and they get inspiration and they go more deep into the study of Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy. Thank you.